All big news.
And Willie, what an eventful day of news. Of course, we had hearings yesterday. Some look like they're going to sell through pretty easily. Others were contentious at times. We'll be getting to that. Los Angeles looks like there may be hope in the coming days that they're going to be able to contain some of these horrific fires. Joe Biden's address last night sort of echoing Eisenhower's prescient threat of a military-industrial complex, which has proven to be the case over the past 70 years, where you have Congress pushing for weapon systems that the Pentagon doesn't even want. But the big story, the possibility of this ceasefire deal, and yes, there's going to be squabbling back and forth by both camps, but David Sanger reporting today, Peter Baker reporting today, that what happened in negotiations, nothing short of historic, an incoming and outgoing administration having their aides coordinate in the closest of ways the end of just a bloody, brutal war.
Yeah, even in the busy news day you laid out, above the fold on all of the newspapers this morning is this news of a ceasefire deal that you have here in the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and all the other papers. And yeah, despite what we just saw a moment ago from President Biden saying, are you serious? Who should get credit for this deal? It turns out, and we'll talk to Peter Baker about his reporting on this in the Times this morning, it turns out there was behind-the-scenes collaboration between the incoming administration and the outgoing one to get this deal, which looks a little tenuous this morning, but there are high hopes that at least some of these hostages will go home and that aid will start to flow into Gaza.
Yeah, the hostage situation would be the end of agony, at least for some families. Israel's claiming Hamas has reneged, though, on a ceasefire deal that would end 15 months of fighting in the Gaza Strip and free dozens of hostages in an effort to gain concessions. According to the Israeli Prime Minister's office, the Israeli cabinet will not convene until the mediators notify Israel that Hamas has accepted all elements of the agreement. The Prime Minister's office did not elaborate. A senior Hamas official says that Hamas is committed to the ceasefire agreement.
And David Ignatius, let's talk about that for just half a second. And we're going to outline the contours of the deal. But just for people waking up this morning hearing this news, the truth is that Benjamin Netanyahu is taking it from the most right-wing, most orthodox elements of his coalition. So I must say, when I was reading that last night, I expected some sort of pushback from Netanyahu, sort of to try to flex so his government didn't collapse, because the hardliners on the far right were talking about trying to undermine his government. Maybe that's his way of doing it this morning. What can you tell us?
So, Joe, after so many months of fighting, so much suffering for both Israel and the Palestinians, you can't help but rejoice in this news that there's finally going to be a ceasefire, 42 days, not a permanent ceasefire yet, and the release of the hostages who've been held so cruelly. They'll begin to come out, if all holds, on Sunday, begin to reunite with their families, including some Americans. Officials say 2 Americans are likely to be released in this first group. What's held this up for so many months are the details of precisely who the Hamas fighters are holding and where they're held, and I think more important, who Israel will release among Palestinian prisoners held in Israeli jails. Officials say there will be hundreds of Palestinians coming out as the hostages are released. How many of those will be people carrying life sentences for having murdered Israelis? That's the kind of thing that Israelis may be studying at the last minute. They've gone over literally every name on this list as they've come down to the final negotiations. I think the thing that worries me, Joe, most about this deal is that there still is not in Israel a clear sense of what the day after the end of this war will look like. That's something the U.S. has been pressing for many months. And to me, the details still aren't clear, which means that Gaza is going to be a lawless place, a messy, ungoverned place for a long while to come.
So let's talk about some of those details. If this deal does hold, it would have several phases. Phase 1 would begin on Sunday and last for 42 days. During that time, 33 hostages would be freed by Hamas. 2 of those are expected to be Americans. In return, Israel would release 100 Palestinian prisoners serving life sentences and 1,000 other prisoners not involved in the October 7th attacks. It also would provide a large amount of humanitarian aid to Gaza, 600 trucks a day, and allow for hospitals and healthcare centers in the enclave to be rebuilt. Future phases aim to bring a permanent end to the war, with remaining hostages and soldiers exchanged, Israeli forces withdrawing, and reconstruction in Gaza beginning. Let's bring in NBC News chief foreign correspondent Richard Engel live from Jerusalem. Richard, what more can you tell us about this, how it came together, and how long it may hold?
Well, things are already looking quite difficult. So today, this morning, there was supposed to be a meeting by held by Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu with his security cabinet, and they were supposed to formally ratify the deal. That meeting has been postponed. Some Israeli media are saying it's going to be held tonight, although that's not entirely confirmed. The Israeli Prime Minister's office hasn't given an explicit reason why the meeting has been postponed, just accusing Hamas of trying to renege on the deal. But as David Ignatius was saying just a short while ago, it does seem to be focused on the issue of Palestinian prisoners. Which Palestinian prisoners could be released? Who has the ultimate veto power of releasing Palestinian prisoners? Hamas has a list of names. Israel is objecting to some of those names. So until this is signed, it's not going forward. But the good news is it doesn't seem to be off. No one has said that the deal isn't happening. No one is saying that the deal has been called off. It just isn't being ratified yet until they can work out these last-minute details. And it is not supposed to go into effect until Sunday, so there still is a little bit of time. There's also ongoing military operations. There were heavy strikes by Israel into Gaza overnight. And according to local medical officials, 71 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza just since this deal was announced yesterday. And according to those Palestinian medical officials, the majority of them were women and children. So just a few hours after the deal was announced during the period of darkness here, or last night, local time. It is now sort of mid-morning, late morning here in Israel. There's already quite a high death toll. The Israelis haven't signed it. Hamas says that they never tried to change the terms of the deal. They're asking for the Americans to intervene and resolve this problem. They're accusing Prime Minister Netanyahu of looking for an excuse so that he doesn't have to go forward to this deal so that he can placate members of his right-wing coalition. There are problems already a few hours after the deal, but so far the problems seem to be on a, I don't want to call them manageable scale, but no one has called it off. No one has walked away. No one has said the deal is dead, and we still have until Sunday.
All right, NBC's Richard Engel, as always, thank you so much for your reporting. We greatly appreciate it.